my jibber jabber on the recording. Midwestern close. I love it. Um, so hi everybody. We were just chatting a little bit. So if you're seeing this recording, we've been chatting for a little while. So you don't have the pleasure of like having to sit through a few minutes of us blathering on or me blathering on. I shouldn't say us, just me. Um, Anywho, LA Times Festival of Books was this weekend. They had all the awards. Oh, Don, you were there? Book prize event. Oh, and the that's supposed to be really fun to go to. Oh yeah, Tom was there. Tom and his wife practically runs the whole thing. And Benny. She pretty much runs the entire festival. Um, but I don't know. I think James, I think won. I can't remember any of the other ones that won LA Times stuff. So they'll be announced. I'm sure there'll be lots of big announcements this week and we'll see lots in press. So we're here with Andrea and Julia, and Amanda and I might pop in with some things, but we'll start with Andrea. And what do you got for us this week that we should be reading?
Oh, whoops, that's not what I'm trying to share.
You have lots of things on that desktop.
Yeah, I do. Okay, come on now. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, this is more like it. This is a big book, Gabrielle by Amber Est, author of The Postcard, and her sister Claire. Um, and so this dynamic duo is teamed up for Europa's lead title for the spring summer list. And this is a fictionalized biography of their grandmother, Gabrielle Buffet, and she was the muse to Marcel Duchamp, and was married to painter Francis Picabia. And this creative and revolutionary um, menage, yes, there was a triangle, there was a love triangle.
Ruh-roh.
Um, Transformed the European art world at that time, and and it basically had ramifications and echoes throughout the 20th century, like um, their dynamic, basically. There's cameos by Jean Arp, Apollinaire, um, Elsa Schiaparelli. It's really well done. You feel like you're there. It's racy. It's tinged with the greater horrors of World War II. And it's just so beautifully written. This sister duo are wonderful, and we are at the publicity is already just you know all over the place. There's a New Yorker profile set around pub date. I haven't seen when it's actually going to land, but we it's publishing tomorrow. There's a big stack of books at Warwick's, and we are excited about this one. The postcard did really well for the indies, and Warwick sold like a lot of it. There was hand over fist. You guys sold a lot of it. So we expect that Gabrielle will do the same, and we're just really excited to see where this one goes and all of the just I think that it's going to be one of those word of mouth type of books and hand selling um, titles as well, where people are going to start picking it up for book groups and all that.
Absolutely. I mean, and her writing is, I dipped into this one. It's so good. She is really, and with her sister, I mean, they're just great storytellers.
Yeah, and you just really um, I mean, in this, this is a fictionalized biography of their grandmother's life, but it's just so well done. And like I said, you just feel like you're there. So
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Uh, it is a good one. Okay, Kim, you were asking on here who recommended Friends of the Library or Friends of the Museum. That was me. Um, I loved that book. And it is. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot going on. And like I said when I was talking about it, it's like you just have to go with it. And a lot of people like don't like those big books with all those characters, and they probably shouldn't read this book if that's the case, because you have to like just craziness ensues and all those characters that are in it. So I happen to love it. So I'm glad you did too. So there's that. Okay, Julia, what do you got for us today?
Okay, I have kind of a fun one. This one came out last week, but I've had such a jam-packed April that it's been hard to fit everything in. But this is The World of Nancy Kwan, a memoir by Hollywood's Asian superstar. And Nancy Kwan, she was the first Chinese person. She was born in China, and the first Chinese person to star in American film. Right? She was born in China. She came to America, you know, learned English, all of that, and then starred in American films. And you can see this is from the 60s, this photo of her. This is one of the older photos of her. What's funny too about Nancy Kwan is that her cousin is Kevin Kwan, who wrote Crazy Rich Asians. Um,
Seriously.
so he did the foreword for this book. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is her memoir. And what's fascinating about Nancy Kwan, I'll take that image off the screen, but I want to just let you know, like, what's fascinating about her is that, like, she starred in the starring role of the World of Susie Wong and the musical Flower Drum Song. And is a in she has a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Asian Hall of Fame. But she has just a fascinating journey. She was a political activist and sort of fought uh, for the rights of Asian people in the U.S. and Asian Americans in the U.S. She's fascinating, and this is her memoir of this like life in Hollywood, but also sort of just like her wild and crazy life. So, like I said, it's got a forward from her cousin Kevin Kwan, and it's a really fun memoir. If you like old Hollywood stories, like and not old, not like studio system. It's kind of like in the dying of the studio system.
Mm.
So in the 60s and stuff like that, when it was sort of waning. But that era of Hollywood history, this is a great memoir. It's really fun. And she's a fascinating person.
Sounds super fascinating and explains a little bit of Kevin's, uh, I mean, Crazy Rich Asians was so great. And so it very much seemed, even though it was about Singapore and everything, it very much played into Hollywood a little bit too, I think. Okay, what's your dog doing out there, Julia? Is he going after a squirrel again?
Yes, and I set off some like thing in this house that talked back at me, and I'm not sure how or why. This is not
I
my
love,
house, and I don't know how it works.
I love it. I love it. Okay, we're talking about North Woods in the chat. Writing is brilliant, and yeah, it's so good. I love that book. It's just one of those books that if you're in the mood for really good writing, which who isn't in the mood for that? But it's a great story. It's a good one. So love North Woods. Amanda, do you want to talk about some or you want to wait?
Sure.
Okay.
I read this one when it came out in hardcover, and it is now in paperback, so it's been a little bit. But this is a debut, and it's from Vintage, and it's Victim by Andrew Borga. And it's a novel. I'll just read the blurb. A debut novel with the bite of Paul Beatty and the subversive wit of Danzy Senna, about a Puerto Rican writer from the Bronx who manipulates his stories by playing the victim, bending the truth until it finally breaks. And this is I was cringing and laughing the whole time because you know his reckoning's coming, and but it's so brilliant. So this hustler from this family of hustlers realizes early on he has quite a challenging childhood, but learns to live with it as a lot of people cope with trauma do and don't really perhaps uh, process that they've had it hard. But then realizes when he gets into college that he can get certain assets from really playing the victim. But it goes way, way, way too far. And it is a brilliant debut. It has been all sorts of best of lists from last year. And I wanted to read a quote from, well, there are so many. Paul Beatty says, blazingly trenchant, unflinchingly Bronx.
Hmm.
Borgia's the rare writer who knows sometimes it's in the unlearning where real education begins.
Hmm.
Victim ditty bops into your skull, smooth, cool, fun-loving, and knowing full well a sense of humor always trumps one's sense of entitlement. Break night with this one, it isn't to be missed. Um, yeah, and I think maybe the time of year it came out, it didn't really get a lot of attention, but I thought it was just a fantastic debut. And it's not in paper, Victim.
It's a great cover.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a really good cover. Sounds really good. I love those cringeworthy books. I can't remember which
Oh,
one I was just reading recently where I was just like going, "Oh my God, this is like," but it was so good. I was just, I can't remember. I would have to look and see. I've read a lot of books this month. Um, and I forgot, I know we talked about the LA Times Festival of Books, but also forgot to mention that it was the Independent Bookstore Day on Saturday, but San Diego had the book crawl this weekend.
How'd it go?
14 stores participated. My understanding is that we ran out of the mugs just today. Um, so everybody, but that was the grand prize. So people that went to the 14 stores, so they just ran out this afternoon, I think.
there's,
But
I just saw in our text chain, there is one mug in town.
okay, but that's not bad for 4 o'clock on Monday for 3 days. That means that, and we ordered more, so that means more people actually completed the crawl this year.
That's
Um,
great.
and so a lot of people participated, which is just, it's so fun. It was so fun watching all the social media because we have the passport and everybody was snapping pictures of what stores they were at when they got their prizes. The stores were always packed. Warwick's, I was keeping in touch with some of the people at Warwick's. I mean, it was crazy in there. Dave Eggers was the ambassador, the adult ambassador, and he was at the store yesterday at noon, line going out the door. So it's cool. It's a
Yeah.
cool day.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that that just keeps getting more and more popular.
Yeah.
And I have done it, and it's very fun.
Yeah, and the buses I think are a huge, huge hit. Everybody pops on those buses to get taken around town, so it's really fun. So lots of good readers and lots of people buying lots of good books. So I think all the stores had a good time. So Frenchman, I was like talking about LA. So I was complaining about this, and then I talked about the LA Times instead of what was going on in San Diego. Swear to God, don't listen to me.
The LA Times was packed too. I mean, I was there Sunday. Um, Saturday morning it rained a bit, and I know, that's never fun
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Southern California.
Especially with books outside.
Yeah. But then it cleared up and people said they were busy, but then Sunday was jam packed. Like
Jammed.
I couldn't even get into people's booths to like take photos. I was
Wow.
like, well, I'll take a picture of this jam packed booth from the outside because I'm not going to go in there. But, like,
That's awesome. So
yeah.
lots of good. It's so okay. So many things were going on this weekend. Independent Bookstore Day, LA Times Festival, all the different. It's like it was a very book centric weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of our kind of nefarious people are also trying to capitalize on it. We won't
Uh,
mention their names.
Hmm.
it's
All right,
wild
Andrew.
to me
Okay.
that Dave Eggers chose to spend his weekend down here in San Diego with us instead of at the like, Times Book Festival.
Well, if he doesn't have a new book though out,
Well, the paperback edition of his The Eyes and the Impossible. It
yeah,
just came out.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure he's always welcome there. I don't know. Anyway, we were very fortunate to have him, and everyone who encountered him said he was just like the nicest, kindest. Drew everyone cool like doodles and did one for every bookstore, I think.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
he's a
and
cool
I mean,
dude.
what I loved is that he appeals to both all the kids. I mean, he's the spectrum of his fan base is very wide. So, okay, Andrea, what do you got for us?
A big
Oh,
nonfiction title from Spiegel and Grau, Laura Day. She's the best-selling author of Practical Intuition. And so the prism is extending in her, like, the wheelhouse of intuition and applying your psychic abilities to a successful life. And this is 7 steps to heal your past and transform your future. And so she's basically explaining here how people can use their intuition to build community, promote healing and personal growth. There's going to be a ton of publicity for this. I mean, we're already seeing, major hits from, all of the people you would expect. Good Morning America, People, Oprah Daily. There was a big interview in Vanity Fair with Laura. And her friends, Drew Barrymore is in on the act. Minnie Driver is like a big fan, and I mean, she knows everybody. She's friends with everybody. She has helped people with her abilities. Her friends include Oprah, Nicole Kidman, Brad Pitt, um, Chris Rock, Deepak Chopra, Demi Moore, Jennifer Aniston. I mean, she is connected to a lot of people. And so you're gonna see her in this book everywhere. Every time you turn on a television or look at social media. And yes, there's going to be on May 9th, right? You are going to be hosting, Laura. So that should be pretty great. I think you're going to have a big crowd for that.
Yep, we're looking forward to it. Yep, May 9th, next Friday.
Excellent.
I can't believe it's already May. Okay, can I just say that?
I,
It's
you know, I really don't know how it happened.
I know.
I mean, it was just New Year's.
Right. And all of a sudden, like April seemed to be going, and then all of a sudden it's like, because April was not a slow month for events, but it wasn't like normal. And May is packed, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's starting like this week. It's hitting hard and fast like this week. So yeah, Laura will be here. Can't wait.
Um,
Kim, we'll figure out getting you the Zoom sign up for this. I think Amanda could probably put the link in the chat, or she can go to our website. Do we have it on the Tea Time page? How to sign up for this? I don't know.
Think
We'll have
so.
to
Well,
look.
I can put the link here.
Yeah, and it should be. If we don't, we should have it just on top of that Tea Time page for people to join.
Yeah,
So
but
the more
it's
the
small.
merrier.
It's not
Yes.
exactly super easy to find.
Yeah, so we'll
Do you
figure
have
out how
any
to
books
do
to
that.
talk about, Julie?
Me? No,
Yeah. No?
no.
Oh,
I no. I mean, all the books that I'm reading literally aren't coming out till like July. And then, like I said, I read one that's coming out like in February. I have another one that I'm reading this week that's going to come out like I think in March of next year. So I'm reading
oh
so
my
far
gosh.
ahead that I don't want to bum everybody out by, although I like the pre-orders, but these aren't even, I don't think some of these aren't even ready for pre-order yet. So
Right. We should do like a fall preview or something.
we can do that. Well, because I am reading some for the fall. In fact, because
Yeah.
I'm doing the Kaliba panel with Mona Awad and Olivi Blake and Rashawn, I think. So yeah, it should be fun. Okay,
Cool.
Julia, what do you have for us?
All right. Well, my next book is, I think, fun for everyone. This year is the 250th birthday of Jane Austen.
Wow.
And this is A Novel Life of Jane Austen, a graphic biography by Janine Barchus. And Janine Barchus is an Austen expert. She teaches at the University of Texas, Austin, spelled differently than Jane Austen, of course.
Of course.
Um, but but this is just such a fun. It's a comic of the life of Jane Austen, and I think what's so fun about this book is it really like takes the medium of being a comic, and plays with it because it's got throughout sort of winks and nods to Jane Austen's the adaptations of Jane Austen's work. So as it's telling you, her about her life and sort of, her life in Bath and all of that, it is also sort of nodding at things like Clueless, which is an adaptation of Emma, um, the BBC version of Pride and Prejudice, where Colin Firth comes out of that lake and the whole world um
Collectively sighs.
yeah, exactly. So, and there's the moments from Sense and Sensibility with Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet and stuff. So it is just like it is, I mean, at once like very educational and fun and interesting about the life of Jane Austen. And then also if you are an Austenite or an Austen fan, this I think sort of scratches a lot of those fun itches, and you'll have a lot of little Easter eggs throughout. I know you'll be seeing a lot coming in the summer and fall about Jane Austen. We have a few more things coming out in fall about her. And because it's her 250th birthday, I think there's going to be quite a lot of things coming. Not just from Hachette, but from other publishers as well. So yeah, that's the novel life of Jane Austen. It's coming out tomorrow.
I love it. That looks like it's super fun.
Yeah.
I think one of the bookstores, I think it might have been Bay Books, had like an arch of all of the Jane Austen books that people could take a picture of in front of. It looked really cute.
I mean,
during the book crawl.
As she is as popular as ever. My mother watches the 6-hour Pride and Prejudice once a year on yeah, I bought it on DVD for myself and then she stole it. This was many years ago. So she loves it.
So I didn't know. So I'm not a huge Jane Austen aficionado. I didn't know she was from Bath. Is that where she grew up?
Yep. Bath. If you go to Bath, you can tour, like you can go on Jane Austen tours and stuff
I
like
know,
that.
which I wish I would have known that, because we didn't do the Bath tour when we were in England this past Christmas. We could, because you could do like Stonehenge and you could like do a whole day and go to Bath and the whole bit. And my family was like, and if I would have known that, I would have made them.
It's fun. There's a museum I've been to.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I lived in London when I was in college for a little bit, and my mom came to visit, and my mother is, I love Jane Austen, but my mom really loves Jane Austen. And so she was like, we have to go. And so we went to this museum and it was delightful. Yeah, it's fascinating. And her life was fascinating. I mean, really, because I think people forget that her books were in some ways satires and in some ways like really sort of highlighted the plight of women within this society, and like were very edgy at the time. And so I think it's easy to forget because like we're so used to these stories now, but she really like pushed the boundaries on a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like proto-feminism, I mean like real discussions about like the trap that domesticity and marriage could be for women back then.
And that they had to marry and they had to like.
Well, I was gonna say there was no, the line of money. You couldn't not do it.
Yeah. Like the only thing you really could do other than that was become a school marm.
Yeah.
Or a nun.
Or a nun.
Okay, Amanda, do you got something else?
I think there's a few other things they could do, but no one wants to like, go that route.
There's one or two professions that
yes.
A few. Amanda, you got something else?
Sure. I just put a gift article link for New York Times in the chat. They had a whole feature about the hand flex in the
oh yes.
Oh, and the Keira Knightley and the Joe, that Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, I enjoyed reading it. Any Austen people in the chat should take a look at that. This is a book that is coming soon. I guess we're almost in May, so it's really not too far off, but I apologize. It's not quite out yet. It's a Simon & Schuster book, but I have to talk about it because I really enjoyed it. This is Aftertaste by Daria Lavelle. Another debut, I believe. And if you are a fan of, I'd say the Ministry of Time, which I also loved, and maybe also Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. And also, if you're a fan of food writing, I would encourage you to consider this very cool book. Our main character is a young man whose father died when he was young. And as the book starts, he's sitting at a public pool when he's a kid, and um, he suddenly has this very, very intense sensation of a very specific food in his mouth, but it's not just a memory, it's something more. And as he continues to get older, he keeps having this happen, and he realizes that he's being haunted by these last or these sort of ghost tastes. And they're not all they're things that he's never tasted before. So he thinks he might be having some sort of neurological problem, but it becomes apparent that he's not. And one day he decides to act upon the very specific taste he's tasting, and everything changes. So, if you are a fan, like I said, of food writing, the food writing is really great. I came away hungry. But it's also a romance, and it's sort of magical realism, speculative fiction, but very modern and very enjoyable. Pardon me, gobbled this book up. So it's Aftertaste.
Love it.
You could not help yourself, could you?
I didn't think I heard it coming, and then I just went for it.
You just got to go with it. You got to go with it. No, we actually had a dinner with her at Winter Institute. She's lovely, and the book's getting a ton of praise. So I think it's going to be one of those that's going to do really well. So
It sounds really original and ingenious.
I cried a lot too.
Really?
Yeah, because it's yeah, I mean, the way that food is so tied to memory and to the people we love, it explored that, and yeah. But it's also really fun. It's very emotional and also very fun. So
yeah. Okay, it was so funny because you were talking, so audio was still working, but my screen froze. And when you said for fans of Ministry of Time, and Julia, your face was frozen with the
Frozen
and it was
Time.
like, and Ministry of Time, and then it just kept going. I was like, well, she must really think that the Ministry of Time was cracking up.
I like that comparison.
Yeah, it was like frozen there, and I thought it
Oh.
was still going. I was like, wow, she really likes Ministry of Time. It was exactly that. All right, lightning round. So, Andrea, what do you have for us?
The Sea Gives Up the Dead. These are
Ooh.
stories by Molly Olguin. This is an Indies Introduced. So, independent booksellers, for a debut author, choose an author or a book by this debut author and that they love. And it is featured front and center in indie bookstores. And this is the May Indies Introduce pick. The Sea Gives Up the Dead. This is from Red Hand Press. This is their first Indies Introduce. It's a small little publisher, independent publisher that I've spoken about their books here before. And basically this is a series of stories that are fairy tale adjacent. Let me see, like what this is such great copy here that the publisher wrote. A collection of stories sprinkled into the soil of fairy tales, left to take root and grow wild there. Well, that is just quite poetic, right? And that's really what it is. And besides all of the oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Besides all of the great, as you can see down here in my notes here, there's a lot of bookseller praise from everywhere, but Carmen Maria Machado calls it a wonderkammer of beauty and sorrow. Wonderkammer, if you don't know, is a cabinet of curiosity. And Andrea Barrett calls it witty, witchy, darkly brilliant. So there you go. The Sea Gives Up the Dead. Great cover. Can't miss it when you go into when you walk into Warwick's, or there will be somebody to help you if you want to get that sent to your house as well.
Absolutely. And I love and I was on the Indies Introduced a few years ago, and it's really a fun thing. They highlight or they pick 10 books a year from debut authors, and 10 on the adult side, 10 on the children's side. It's so great. It's
Yeah.
just a really it's a program that the ABA puts on. It's really great. The selections are always really books that everybody should. So
Yeah.
it's 10
Great.
books. Like
It's a
this
great
is
way
one of
to
them.
support young authors, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Because
So,
debut authors need all the help they can get, especially these days. So I
yeah.
love the Is It Indie Introduce.
Yeah.
All right, Julia.
Okay, my last one is I feel like it kind of like almost fits on Andrea's list a little more than mine, but I'll take it where I can get it, you know. So my last one is called Reclaiming Art in the Age of Artifice. Oh, whoops. And this is by J.F. Martell. This is a philosophy book. And it is, I mean, it's theory, it really. I mean, it reminds me of the theory books that I read in college in a lot of ways. But looking at sort of like why it is so important for us to interact with art made by real humans. And it's got this introduction by Donna Tartt of The Secret History and the Goldfinch fame. The intro is actually, or part of the intro is in Harper's Bazaar from like, I think June of last year. There is an excerpt from it that's really wonderful. And both Donna Tartt and J.F. Martell talk about sort of, you know, more and more, obviously, like with the advent of AI, but also just with, you know, everything being so digital. We're on our phones. I'm on this computer all day long. We're watching, you know, video streamed into our homes and things like that, and sort of like interfacing with art that is made by actual people, interfacing with what we find exciting about it, what we find unnerving about it, what we find disturbing about it, what we find, you know, awe-inspiring about it, all of those things. He really breaks down like why this is so important and why it is so important to sort of maintaining our humanity as we are sort of in the face of all this like inhuman you know, stuff that's thrown at us. And I think it's just like, honestly, like it's a book to take your time with. It's not that long. It's a pretty thin book, and it's just like, it's one of those ones where I just kind of will read a chapter of it, you know, here and there. And I, you know, I've read through the whole thing now, but like was just like reading a chapter, not even a chapter a night, but I would read a chapter and then I would read something else and then I would come back and read another chapter. And it sort of really, I don't know, just filled me with a lot of hope and a lot of like, yes, this is correct. And like a new way of sort of thinking and reframing how I'm looking at all of these sort of artificial things that are coming at us. It's just, I think, a really great book and one to sort of grapple with. And I think one you could come back to again and again as well. So that's Reclaiming Art in the Age of Artifice. And I think it's one that's really, I don't know that it's like fun to come in and out of, but it's like very thought-provoking to come in and out.
Well, and I know this might be a little bit of a stretch, but it might be something that would be good as a graduation gift.
I think that's a great idea, Julie.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, because I just think that it's like for young people to understand where all of this is.
Here's my suggestion, because my favorite graduation gift to buy people is Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet.
Ah,
I love buying that as a
I saw
graduation gift.
someone with that in line during the crawl up at Camino Books, and I was like, yeah, nice one.
Yeah. I buy it. Almost anyone who graduates, I buy them Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet, because I think it's just a phenomenal book to remind you that art is important. And like I think buying those two together would be a great like 1-2 sort of nice graduation gift.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I mean, I think that it's
Really
because that is something that, people are, oh, the Dr. Seuss one. It's like, no, let's step it up a notch.
Yeah, a few. Let's
Let's
step it
step
up a
it
few.
let's step it up a notch or two.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, Amanda, you got something to wind us
Yeah,
up?
I haven't, full disclosure, I haven't read it yet, but I'm very excited to. And also, I want to mention it now, even though it comes out in June, because we're lucky enough to be hosting the author during release week. King of Ashes by
Oh,
S.A. Cosby is coming out. Book comes out June 10th, and we'll be hosting him at USD. And he will be in conversation with his uh audiobook narrator, who his name is Adam Lazar White. I don't know him, but he's a big actor and director, producer himself. Um, so I think it's going to be a really exciting event. If you enjoy thrillers, it's described as a Godfather inspired Southern crime thriller. So
and
S.A. Cosby's new one.
he's so good. I mean, he's gritty. Got to be ready for some like serious grit when you're reading an S.A. Cosby. But I'm so excited that he's coming, and the university's super excited too. So if you're in San Diego, come on by, and if not, find him if he's close to you, or just buy his book. And I don't see anything. I just briefly went out to see if I could find anything of Saravel, and I don't see anything new coming, at least from what I have access to. So, Kim, I
What?
don't. Kim is asking in the chat.
Oh,
There's a question
oh
that came up through the
yeah.
chat.
Yeah, I think Kim, you asked that a couple weeks ago, and I didn't see anything then either.
Yeah, so I don't see
Yeah,
anything new coming.
she's so good.
Yeah. Okay. That was great, you guys. Thank you for another great week of recommendations for us. Hit lots of very interesting topics today. So,
It was wide ranging.
it was very wide ranging, and I kind of love that a lot. Thank you for everybody that participated. If you were here in San Diego participating in the book crawl, thank you for that. And what else? This week, if you're in San Diego, would love to see you at the Admiral McRaven event that will be on Friday. Can't wait for that. And then next week, Lily Taylor will be at the store. She's going to talk about her new book on birding. Turning to Birds, I think is what it's called. If you don't remember who Lily Taylor is, she was in Mystic Pizza. So,
And say anything.
and say anything. And say anything. I remember her from Mystic Pizza. That was my favorite. So she was a little bit younger. And 6 Feet Under.
Oh
Dawn.
yeah, Dawn.
Amazing.
She's
Okay.
great
Wow.
in 6 Feet Under.
And then,
Okay.
6 feet under.
and then when she plays the radical feminist that tried to, what is that movie called, where that she tried to assassinate Andy Warhol? What is that? What's her name? Valerie. Anyway, she plays the would-be assassinatrix.
That
I
is that
love it.
I Shot Andy Warhol, that movie?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, she's really,
She's amazing.
yeah.
6 feet under is that show is so good.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just 6 Feet Under. I have a theory about it, which is I think it is one of the few absolutely perfect television shows. Like, there's not anything wrong. Like, it's perfect writing, perfect acting, perfect directing,
Perfect
all
ending.
of it perfect. Yeah,
Perfect
the
ending.
I never
perfect,
watched it.
the best
Oh,
sending to the television show
I
ever.
think you'd love it, Julie.
I think I need to go watch it.
Oh yeah, it is.
How long is it though? Because how many seasons is it?
It's 6 seasons, but it's HBO season, so it's like 13 episodes.
Ugh, see, I don't know. I don't know if I could
It's-
do
You're gonna
that.
get hooked. You're gonna get hooked.
Okay, I'll
You
try.
love it. Yeah.
I'm watching not Succession. I've watched that. I'm watching
5
Severance.
seasons.
Five
5 seasons, 63 episodes.
Okay, I'll see. I'll see
You
if I
can
can
do
do it. I can do it. I can do it.
So
I'm watching Severance right now, and that's about my limit on, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I could sit through another season of that because I'm about ready to kill somebody.
People keep telling me I love it, and whenever that happens, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what you think of me.
Well, it's one of those. It's one of those where I'm at in the seasons right now. I'm kind of like, okay, are we just being weird to be weird now? So, and then when I get like that, it's like I turn. It's like I'm done. So, anyways, reading lots of books is what I'm doing right now. So I will have lots of thanks, Dawn. I will give it a shot. I have lots of books that will be talking about, but not for a few months. So lots of good stuff coming. Lots of good stuff coming. So thanks everybody, and we will see you all next week for some more good books. So have a good night.
bye.
Bye. Thanks,
Thanks.
Julia. Thanks, Andrea.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.